One of the biggest challenges I see for businesses is they generate leads that aren't qualified. And the challenge with that is that uh, you're going to waste your time dealing with people that aren't going to buy from you. So you want to know how to go about generating qualified leads if you want to be successful. That way, the leads that you're dealing with are the best possible quality. And you do this through, effective marketing, making sure you're doing things the right way. You also want to make sure you attract the right crowd, and everything else, as I said, will be easier because if you've got the right people talking to you that have a problem, for whatever solution you offer, they're more likely to buy from you. So really, really important. So let's just have a look at some of the things. So the first thing is a lead capture game plan. Now, I'm going to just make myself really small down the bottom here for now, so I don't block that out because I know what's coming up. So you need a lead capture game plan, and the idea is that I see too many people when they sort of set up their website or their social media, they don't think through what am I going to do once those people hit my website? And this is the problem I had with the two agencies that I paid all that money 2 years ago. I paid $80,000 to two agencies. They generated traffic, but they didn't turn into leads. And that's because there was no lead capture game plan. We didn't have a plan for it. So I'm going to share with you some of the things that you can be doing to make sure that as you generate leads, you capture these and you attract them and you capture their details. So the first thing is make sure that you have lots of valuable tools and resources available. The more tools and resources that you have available, the more like people are going to opt in for things. Now, this webinar is a great example of a tool or resource that is a lead magnet. And you should think to yourself right now, could I run a webinar like this, training people about what it is that I do, giving away free content that's valuable, but also shows you as the authority in your industry and builds up that relationship with people, starts that process. And it's dangling a carrot. That's what it is. You're on this webinar because it's free and you thought it could be valuable. There's something here. If you just learn and really, let's face it, if you just take one thing away from today, you've probably already got something that's valuable. It's a valuable use of your time, right? So by dangling that carrot, you've opted into my webinar. We're now building a relationship and we can start to continue to foster that relationship. We'll talk about that very, very shortly. So you want lead magnets. There's plenty of different tools that you can use with the ebooks, guides, checklists, free training, etc. There's lots of things that you can do. Also, you've got to make it easy for people to opt in. So on your website, on your social media, wherever, if you're going to get people's details, don't give them great, big, difficult forms. Now, I say this with a bit of caveat because if you're going to go straight from that form to a sales meeting, then yes, it probably needs to be a little bit more qualified. Otherwise, you are going to waste your time dealing with tire kickers. But if it's just a lead magnet that is just the start of your process, and there's other steps in between this and the next, and the next, then you can just ask for a very simple amount of details. Now, the easier the opt-in is, the more people are going to opt in. So if it's a free event and they've only got to give their email address, or a free download and they've only got to give their email address to get it, that's much easier. If you then ask for a name, a bit harder. If you then ask for a phone number, a bit harder. If you then ask for an address, even harder. So the more questions you ask, the less people are going to opt in. Okay, so you want to make sure that all the forms on your website, in your marketing, are very easy for people to fill in and opt in, so you don't grab too much of their details. So that's your lead capture game plan. Now let's just go across to the next one, which is then to build trust and grow authority. Okay, so build trust and grow authority. And what we want to do is we want to make sure that we are building a relationship with people in our marketing, because people buy from people they know, like, and trust. Okay. And so what we want to do is we want to build that relationship up so people trust us and know us and like us. Now, one of the quickest ways is to create helpful content. Okay, so as soon as you start creating good content, whether it's webinars like this, it's ebooks, it's blog posts, it's FAQs on your website, it could be appearing on other people's podcasts, it could be doing a YouTube channel, it could just be really helpful stuff that you post on social media. It could be Facebook Lives, Instagram vids, whatever you like. But so long as it's helpful, you will start to create a relationship with people, but you'll become the authority in your industry. And I think that's a really important thing to do. The other thing, a good way to really build trust and rapport with people is to solve problems quickly. Give people the apple that they're looking for. Find that low-hanging fruit and solve their problem quickly. So if you know that one of your customer's biggest issues is X. Create a bit of content that solves that and can help them do something with it really, really fast. So the thing that I used on Facebook marketing that worked really well for me was a business planning template that was easy to use. The same template we've used to grow thousands of Aussie businesses, I offer that for free on Facebook. We get dozens of downloads every day, and it costs me a few dollars a download. And it's a great lead magnet. It solves a problem. Someone's looking for a lead magnet, looking for a business plan template. My lead magnet's there. And they take the apple. It's the low-hanging fruit. The other thing is, if your content's really good, you'll earn links. Now, I mentioned before when it came to optimizing your website and building authority with the search engines, one of the signals that Google and Bing and all of those search engines is looking for is how many people are linking back to your content. So others will stick their neck out for you and share your content if it's good. And if your content is getting shared, whether it's on other people's websites, podcasts, social media channels, etc., and even in their email blasts, the search engines know this, and this actually creates more of an authority for your website and your business as well. Okay, so really an important thing to do. So that's building trust and growing your authority. The next stage of leads, of the second part of profitable digital marketing, is then to automate to nurture. Now, some of you will be ready to do something right now. So maybe at the end of this webinar, you'll say, Ben, I'm ready to have a chat. I'd like to find out how your digital marketing company can partner with me and help me get this done. Some of you will not be ready for that. Okay. So you need to be nurtured. And I've got thousands of people in my database. I can't ring you all each week or each month and say, how you doing? So I've got to work out how to automate that nurturing process. And that's what this is all about. So as we dive into this, you need to work out what systems you need to enhance and streamline this nurturing process. And there's lots and lots of tools out there, whether it's email marketing tools, there's CRMs, there's amazing tools to be able to send out text messages. There's tools to automate posting on social media. There's lots of different things that you can do to automate. And even part of your automation can still be with people, but you can outsource a lot of this work to, a third party that can do things for you, manage your LinkedIn profile for you, or whatever it is you need done, for example. But it means you get to nurture people. I'm all about systemizing the routine communication. So things that you're going to do on a regular basis, systemize it so you don't have to think about it. So it just happens. It might be, checking in on a customer. It might be, following up a proposal. It might be whatever, but just systemize it. Humanize the exception. There's still times when you need to make a call. I'm not a big fan of these big complex funnels. You might hear people talk about building funnels and tripwires and all these things. I still think that the best way to get sales is to talk to people. However, there's still communication that can be done in an automated fashion. So automate those and humanize the exception when it comes to that. Build relationships. That's the most important thing, because people buy from people. So even on your social media channels, be there, respond to people. If somebody messages you, personally respond. If somebody posts something, if someone shares content from my Facebook page, and I know about it, I will typically go and comment on that and say, thank you for sharing. Nurture these people, but people buy from people. And if you can automate some of that, even better, right? So there are things that you can automate. If people do something good, you can have systems that automate. Now, most CRMs, we use Infusionsoft, or Keep, it's known now in our business, so it's KEAP. But it allows us to automate a lot of things. So a lot of the communication you get from me is just automated. It's not something that I have to actually sit and do. So it's quite clever. And I suggest that's what you do. Most people struggle with consistency because of the workload. Well, automate it and the workload disappears.